what's your favourite drink? I remember days when it were those pubs.
Yes.
You took over the Hanzed. We had
Oh my word! In the old Bell, it was what was my favourite? I love tea, but I'd have to say, apart from wine, because that's a complex subject, it would have to be a Negroni. And what about you?
when I'm really thirsty,
Yeah,
a lot of food. I'd really enjoy your dinner, funny.
cold beer.
Right, so I think they can't beat a glass of combat.
Beer and champagne is two great ways to start.
Yeah, different occasion, different celebration,
Yeah.
different drinks.
Exactly.
It's
Just to chill and relax, a good beer is nice on a warm day. So Heston, we're getting together because we're obviously celebrating 40 years of Roux Michelin star at the Waterside Inn. So
Yes.
way before I arrived and joined my dad, but as well we're celebrating 30 years of you opening
The Fat
your
Duck.
lovely creation of your restaurant, the Fat Duck.
And a mere 20 years of 3 Michelin stars.
21 year, I think, Heston.
Actually, you're right. I
You miscounted.
Yeah, I'm only 24.
But I think we should celebrate. It's not only getting together
Yes.
for that very special dinner that we're going to do.
Yes.
But before that, we should start to celebrate. So
Okay.
guess what?
What?
I told you and I asked you to come here to have a little chat and to talk, to get ready for that event. But we're not here to fish. I'm going to show you what is the fishing today. Because it's a special day.
I have no idea what you're doing.
Well, I've got a choice. It's a bit. It's perfect temperature.
That's certainly not going to be eaten by a cormorant.
Oh, look at that. You see? That's it. I've got everything ready. I think that should open it.
Do you know, once when I was a teenager, I went to France on holiday with my friends. And we thought it was clever to buy some beers and put them in the sea.
Yes.
But we lost them.
You lost them?
Yeah, we lost all of them.
That's it. So, beer for you, beer for me.
And a big cheers.
There you are. Cheers.
Cheers.
To a great celebration.
Great celebration. I'm really excited.
So many years. And it's great to have friends, special friends like you in the same village.
Yeah.
I know my dad was thrilled. He was thrilled to meet you the first time. And he was thrilled that we had that relationship all together.
We've had it ever since, haven't we?
Yeah, since day one. Yeah.
Which has been quite unusual and quite precious.
You can't beat that friendship.
No.
Well, my first memory of coming and visiting you at the Fat Duck was when you were doing, if I may say, that very traditional, classic French-style brasserie food.
Yeah.
If I could say that. And I just thought, what is that chef doing? Here in Berkshire, in Bray, cooking that stunning, beautiful French food. I was gobsmacked. It was like brilliant. I loved the food you cooked at that time, but it only lasted for a few years. I saw the truth after that. Oops, that's gone. I knew it was going to go. So we were saying.
Yes, the early days, the days of the crème brûlée and the
Île flottant.
Île flottant, the vichyssoise with maybe an oyster in it.
And the anglais.
And the anglais and
the
frites.
Blanquette de veau.
The rillettes of salmon.
So you did that, if I'm right, for a couple of years?
Yeah, probably
3 years.
Open 95. So I think 97 to 98 things started to change a little bit.
Yeah, so just over 2 years. And And after, that's it. I saw the true Heston. You know,
I'll take that as a compliment.
oh, definitely. That was, you know, it was like discovering a new world for me. I traditionally, you know, taught about classic French cooking.
Yes.
And you brought me like a new shiny light, a star.
Wow.
Very
Well,
impressed.
coming from you, that's a big honour.
Well, yeah, it's you discover, you learn all the time being a chef, and when I saw what you were doing, and until that, you know, until today, you just kept on progressing, bringing some new ideas, some great ideas. Yeah, maybe some of it is a bit wacky, if I may say,
Yeah.
but in a good way. In a good way. You have to travel. You have to get back in time. Get the memories back of your childhood as well, which I know you love to do that.
And you're also talking about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a big kid, and
you are a big
that's
kid.
maybe why I appreciate what you offer and what you do at the Fat
You have
Dad.
a very infectious laughter, smile.
I love laughing. It's very important.
I agree.
I'm a happy
with you.
chef. Yeah.
Michel was tough. I remember one of the early days, and I had met Michel from eating here, but we had somebody who had made a booking for 8 people, first biggest table we've had. This is really early on.
Yes.
Maybe in '95. And they wanted a birthday cake for this woman's husband's 40th birthday. But there was all these stipulations. She wanted chocolate, no coffee, hazelnuts, no almonds. The list went on. And she booked 4 weeks in advance, which was the longest anyone booked in advance. Anyway, she was phoning every week. Is it okay? The cake is still sorted. So I made a birthday cake. And I got it out of the fridge, put it on top just so the ganache would come up to temperature and texture. Anyway, just before service, this was in the old beer room where you have all your finishings, the chopped chives and stuff. I go to the fridge, I pull out this tray, I turned around and I kicked the fridge door with the back of my foot, and I heard this.
Oh no!
And you know when you know something's gone wrong, everything slows down. It seemed like a minute, but this tray went poof, and then upside down on the floor, splat. So if there was a way I could have picked it up, I would have done. But it was finished, and this was at the beginning of service, so like 6:45, and this was the night of her booking. So I did what any self-respecting chef did. I phoned the waterside and I spoke to Michel and I said, I've had this cake, it's a disaster. Is there any chance you've got a cake with with hazelnuts to go okay, but no almonds and whatever, no coffee? And you said it is suave, silky French accent. Let me see. And they had a cake.
Well, I actually wondered why you wanted a cake so quickly on a busy day like that.
Do you remember the story?
Well, yeah, I remember that cake being done. My head pastry chef and Dad actually helped out to do that cake.
Amazing! That's amazing.
We are like that. We love to help if we can. It's
and the woman,
support.
The woman,
and accidents.
She never
happen.
knew she was getting a cake from the waterside
from down the road,
and the king of restaurant patisserie.
I hope she liked the cake.
She loved it. She would have probably appreciated the story, but being
well, that's a secret between us.
It's a secret between us, yeah. Mine has to be triple cooked chips because I came up with that process 3 years before opening the Fat Duck. So that's my earliest dish that started to define me. It was triple cooked chips.
Well, I think you know how to do those. They're one of my favourites. And now we see them not only all around the country,
Yeah.
but all around the world.
I know they're
so famous.
everywhere. Little did I know.
So I definitely think it's a very clever and a superb idea. Yeah. They're chips to a different level.
What about you?
Gosh. Well, memories, of course, cooking and baking stuff with my grandma, my mum. I have to say, when I was a pastry apprenticeship, when I started, the first year, because I did that in France, in Paris, in a very classical pastry shop in Paris.
Yeah.
My first year, when I had my first holiday, I came to visit Dad because I was so happy. I wanted to tell him and talk about what I've done, what I've seen, and I wanted to serve him one of my desserts, one of my creations.
Oh, yes.
So I came here and I prepped in the kitchen, in the pastry here, a poached pear filled with a chocolate cream, and there was a little puff pastry like a chausson. And I was so excited, so
that would have been really,
proud.
in those days, that would have been really modern, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think Dad seemed very happy with what I did, and I was proud. I was proud of what I did, and I think that's when it really showed that I could do my kind of creation, and I knew what Dad loved.
Yeah.
And I was definitely I had a sweet tooth. Yeah, so making cakes has never left me.
Well, you don't get much better than here.
We have a big team in the pastry. Yeah, we have 6 pastry chefs. We have normally 1 up to 2 bakers as well. So we are putting a lot of effort, a lot of work in our desserts.
But you can see that.
And we use the best butter, the best chocolate.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
They really are.
It pays off, I guess. It's worth the price, as we say. It's important to do the best shopping. Difficult to realize 40 years. I mean, I've been here now 33 years. And the stars were there before I joined, Dad and the team. And when I think of how many people I've worked through in all those years,
yes,
it must be at least 1,500, if not 1,750.
But the thing with the stars that lots of people still don't realise is you get awarded them every year. The restaurant gets awarded them every year. So, if you lose consistency,
it's definitely hard work to maintain something, as you know, because 21 years you're in the record elite as well. And it's hard work. It's not a one-man show. It's hard work, and every year we don't know if we're going to lose something.
Yeah, it's creating a monster, and then trying to hold on to its tail.
We try to enjoy it while we have.
Yes,
that's what I say to my team.
I've had several food disasters. The cake was one of them. But I remember maybe the greatest disaster I had was when we opened the duck. We had an old reconditioned pub oven. So 6 gas burners, only 4 worked, and the pilot, there was no pilot switch. So you had to turn the gas of the oven on and then with some matches. Anyway, it was after lunch service. I had one other person in the kitchen, and I was doing my prep mise en place. And I turned the oven on to light the gas. But I don't have any matches, so I went to the bar out to the kitchen, left the kitchen, went to the bar, got some matches. The telephone rang. I think it was somebody asking. In those days, most people thought we were a Chinese restaurant. Fat duck. So I'm explaining. No, we do this and this and this. Anyway, I came back into the kitchen, lit the match. I was engulfed in this gas cloud, and it picked me up off the floor, and I sat on the fridge. I just literally knocked back and was sitting on the fridge. and there was a young kitchen porter. He had his baseball cap turned around like this, I remember. And he's going, and I'm going, and then the pain started. I completely burnt my hair, and we had.
Is that why you keep short hair since?
yeah, exactly. And I remember doing service. I had to stop service, stop covers. We weren't busy anyway, but I stopped. I think it was 12 people. One of the hardest services I've done. I stood the other side of the pass with a bag of frozen peas and frozen 2 bags of frozen peas on my head, telling I had to get the pot washer to take this out of the fridge, put it in the oven. So I'd say that was mine. What about yours?
Wow, that's very scary, and I think you were quite lucky. I've seen something a little similar, but I don't think the gas was left unattended for as long as what you did. But I saw the flame coming out of an oven like that, and obviously the person that was in front had no more eyebrow. But no, I think my worst nightmare since I'm here is actually with a fire. We were doing Sunday. It was Sunday for staff lunch before the lunch service, and we were cooking French fries. And the person who cooked the French fries in a large brat pan forgot to switch that off. We all went for lunch. By the time we came back, the flames were up into the canopy, and we had to call the fire brigade. We all had to evacuate, and that was like 10 to 12.
Oh no!
The fire brigade arrived like less than 10 minutes after. There was foam everywhere. It took us about an hour and a half to clean everything down, and obviously guests had to wait for a couple of hours. And
but did you clean up then just start service?
We started. I mean, we finished so late that day, but we were lucky that the building was not touched, and we managed. The fire brigade managed to stop the fire. I think that was the worst day. The worst day, and another day as well where we had a power cut for several hours.
Oh yeah,
and,
candles.
That was it, and it was just cold food, salad really.
Salad, candles, salad and candles.
Not as exciting, romantic, but not exciting in the right way. My biggest influence was my father, by far away, not only because he was my chef, my mentor for many years, and the longest. I worked in France and I worked for people, but the most was up to 2 years. So to have 10 years side by side with Dad, and another, 18 years after that, where he was in the background, but always there to criticize and to put me in the right track and to help me to grow and to progress. He was my biggest teacher, and he just influenced me so much because he had the passion of cooking, he had the passion of food, and the work ethic he had, and the way he was running, his business, running his team. I just admired him. He was my biggest influence.
It's wonderful. I'd have to say I've had sort of great chef influences, people like Alain, but mine was, I'd say, was Harold McGee, who wrote the book on the science of cooking. Because in that book, he said, I was studying classical French cooking at the time and reading chef's cookbooks and cooking. But Harold said, browning the meat doesn't keep in the juices. And that was like finding out that Father Christmas wasn't real.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What do you mean? And then he explains, if you put meat into a pan, it sizzles and that's the water coming out. And if browning meat kept in the juices, you could not have a well done piece of steak. You cook the juices out when the steak's well done.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh my God, that's everything I'd read up to that time
Yeah.
So I've got my coat of arms, and my motto on it is question everything. So from that one little bit of that book, it led me to be an annoying school child and go, why?
Yeah, it's true. It's we've been told so many things from
Yeah.
the past, which sometimes have got no sense.
Yeah.
And you realize when you see it and you learn from it on a different approach,
Yes.
and you discover that in fact we've been doing the wrong stuff for many years.
And that's how things keep on evolving as well.
That's why I think what I love about what you've done so far is you've brought cooking to a different dimension, and you're still doing that. You're proving that there are ways to do things even better.
You're also doing it here.
Yeah, without knowing it, in a different way. Yeah,
Continually tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Yeah.
yeah. There's always progress, always
Yeah.
things to do, differently, and to learn. We keep on learning. This is one of our beautiful things in our job.
Yes. The moment you stop learning, I just can't think of it. The moment
We'll do something else.
Do something
We'll
else.
do fishing every day, all day long.
I don't know what else. I don't know. What would you do? What would you do if you weren't a chef?
I know what I would have done. Not that I thought I wanted to change and stop, no, but I did ask myself if, not being a chef, I would have been a gardener, growing fruit and vegetable, having a great massive orchard, and just grow stuff.
Yeah.
Salads, vegetables, even truffles if I could.
Of course. Yeah. I don't know. I used to been asked this question before, and I sort of joked and said, "Oh, I can't think of anything else. So I'd be dead." But in fact, I think I think I could be something like an experimental psychologist. As long as I'm experimenting and trying stuff, the same thing. I don't know about gardening. Also takes a lot of patience, a bit like fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a bit like what we do cooking. We are working with raw, fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
And a carrot is a carrot. They don't get to be prepared the same way. They don't react and they don't cook the same way. So we've got to adapt. And that's why we keep on discovering and having to adjust ourselves with the ingredient, and depending on what we want to achieve with those lovely ingredients.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Okay, so the current goal is getting ready for dinner.
Yes.
Getting ready for our special dinner.
We definitely, our goal is in one day we normally have to serve lunch and dinner.
Yes.
So it's one step at a time. The morning we get ready for lunch, and the afternoon we get ready for the dinner.
Yeah, the doors open and they open again.
So I think we have the same goal.
We have the same goal.
Yeah.
And our dinner together.
It's going to be.
There's a goal.
That's going to be smashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be some wonderful.
And we're going to have a friend. We're going to have a friend of mine, Jeff Oberweis, who's going to come and prepare the dessert for that dinner.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. He's actually a pastry chef that I was apprentice at the same time as he was apprentice. We were in the same school, not the same class, but the same school. And the difference is that I finished, I got my exam, I passed, I did well, but he was number one in the school. And he's going to do a beautiful dessert, a chocolate dessert.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So can't wait to taste it, and I'm sure you will be surprised as well tasting it.
Fantastic. I think I think we're going to have a laugh. We're going to have fun doing it, and it might sound silly, but that will transfer to the dining room.
Definitely, it has to. It's a unique celebration.
Yes.
We don't do often things together. I think we might have cooked once in the past.
Once years ago.
Years ago.
That was here, actually.
It was here. And to repeat that, but for such a celebration,
Yes.
it is going to be terrific. And yeah, we get on so well together, our teams as well. And what we're going to be cooking is really, really exciting, because we're going to do some of your dishes and some of the Waterside Inn dishes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it works together. And I'm sure our guests will love it. We'll love to see that we're preparing and cooking together, side by side, cooking for them.
Yes.
But we're getting old.
Yeah, age is not on our side. I just think it's such a unique relationship between the two restaurants, and has been for years.
It has.
And it's a celebration of that, I think.
In many different ways. And I know when we cross each other in the village, or if we're on the other side of the world, and I know Dad was the same, when we cross each other, it was, just a joy. And it's never stopped. I mean, we still even, support each other. I can see some of my team, I can see some of your team running back and forth, not every day, but now and again, because we're missing an ingredient.
Run out of butter.
We're running out of, because we sold out.
Yeah.
So, where to do the shopping? If it's not here, it's me to do the shopping at your place. So, yeah, if we have, spare food, spare ingredients, or if it's equipment, I know we always help each other.
Do you know, I've just remembered this. The very first time we put liquid nitrogen scrambled egg and bacon ice cream, I wanted to serve it on a copper flambe pan. So we borrowed it from you. So that was the first time it went onto the menu.
But that's what pays off, is to be able to work together,
Yes.
And there's, I know there's many chefs who get on well together, but I think our relationship is very, very special.
It's very special.
The years we can't believe the year they pass, and you've been, in the village for 30 years. The Waterside opened in 1972, so that was 53 years ago.
My God.
But, I've been here 33 years, and the 3 stars have been here at the Waterside for 40 years,
which is an incredible achievement. It really is incredible.
It's, hard to believe. The oldest outside France.
The oldest outside of France.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, yeah, after this beer, maybe, I suggest we move on to something a bit more celebratory.
Oh, you have another type of fish, do you?
Yeah, let me see. Wow. Look at that, Heston. Look at that.
Only in the Waterside would you go fishing for champagne.
Well, yeah. I secured that one, so I think I might have to cut the rope. I'll cut here and you hold the rope. I bet it's the perfect temperature.
Of course it will be.
That's it.
There you go, chef.
Thank you. It's windy today, huh?
It's very windy.
Yeah.
Your
hair's fine.
I know, thanks to the oven.
I'll do it in style, yeah? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah? Look at that. Watch out. Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
That's great, look.
Did you get some?
Straight in my face. Thank you.
I get the windscreen on
You
your
could have aimed it
glasses.
for my mouth.
There you are.
Thank you very much.
That's it. That's how to have a party.
Cheers.
Heston, santé.
Ah, Alain, big
To
santé.
all those years,
Yeah,
and for the next ones to
precious
come.
moments.
Yeah, and a great celebration with our precious guest that
Yes.
we're going to try to treat and cook another special dinner for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cheers.
Thank you, Big H.
The big A.
Wonderful.
I think we did all right with those questions.
Yeah. Well, that was good.
I think so.